Hey, what's up, music lovers, and welcome to This Is R&B's official YouTube channel. I'm guest contributor Flisadam. In this interview, I had a chance to catch up with the rising R&B star Lekan. During our conversation, he discussed his musical influences spanning Nigeria, the Midwest, and the West Coast. He also talked about his breakthrough single, Pray For Me, his EP, So You Know, and him joining Tems on her official world tour, Born in the Wild. Check out our full conversation here. Thank you so much for taking the time out to chat with us. We are huge fans of your work over at This Is R&B. So to have this conversation is exciting for me.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Well, there's a lot of questions that I can ask, but I want to first start here. Deepest condolences to you. You are, from what I've been finding on social media, a Knicks fan, and us East Coast people, we are suffering as well with you. So I think it's funny if we could start there. Most people know that your background is Ohio, but you are a Knicks fan, as you've shown online. So Can you talk about that, that regional support for the Knicks?
I wasn't ready for this drama. But no, I am a Knicks fan. Been a Knicks fan my whole life. I was born in Brooklyn, so I've just kind of been loyal to a fault. But this year was I'm proud of us this year. We made it far through a lot of adversity, but it's still a hard pill to swallow. But I'm be all right.
Well, listen, you're not the only one suffering. My father, God rest his soul, was a long-suffering Knicks fan for generations. So you're not the only person. So my heart goes out with all of the Knicks fans as someone in Jersey. So I think it's funny that you say that because you were born in Brooklyn, because a lot of your music is rooted in your Ohio background and your upbringing. So one thing that I found very interesting in past conversation that you had, you speak about so many different dichotomies of what influences your music and regionally specific, especially with 614, the single that was released. Can you talk about that creative economy of like those sounds and how you find a way to like insert that into from New York to Ohio to being a first generation Nigerian American in your music?
Most definitely. Just being born in New York just kind of gave me like it gave me an appreciation for hip hop, which is more so like I guess would be like a confidence thing a little bit. So like growing up listening to like Hove and 50 Cent, which was like my first album ever, you know what I'm saying? Get Rich or Die Trying, that I ever like had a physical copy of, or like, like Nas, you feel me? That kind of just gave me like that essence to like appreciate certain sounds or even just like rhymes, you know what I mean? But moving to the Midwest at such a young age, Columbus, Ohio, really helped my music background to just expand. The Midwest is like the home of soul to me. A lot of funk, a lot of soul, all over from Detroit, Motown to like Ohio, where I'm from. It really helped me to expand my sound and really appreciate certain textures as far as like sonically, which helped a lot as far as like where I'm at and like now that I'm able to create certain things. But also the background of me just being a Nigerian, our tone, how we talk is almost like how we sing, is almost like singing. So like it's very helped me a lot to be able to understand that. It just gave me like a real broad like understanding of just music and different perspectives. So that's what that was for me.
Love that. And I think a lot of times when we talk about music overall, especially you mentioning hip hop and rap music, there was this idea of like, okay, well, every region has one thing that they're really known for. And I think the Midwest gets overlooked for their contributions to a lot of genres. And for me, studying music, I think we discredit or we overlook Ohio's impact in R&B. So I love that you're really shining a light on that. Do you feel any pressure? Because there are some titans to come out of Ohio.
Yeah, literally. No, I don't feel any pressure at all. I almost feel like it's perfect timing. It's about that time that people understand. There's so much talent, so much of soul that comes from that environment. We deal with a lot of just real things, and like it invokes a certain type of emotion that it's not as easy to put in on wax, but you know, we still find a way to do it. So I'm just grateful that I'm in the space right now where I could do it and even just shed a light to it, because it's not just me. There's so many different incredible talented artists from Ohio, from Columbus, from Cleveland, Cincinnati, all over, that are on the same type of time. So if I'm just somebody that can shine that light on that, then so be it.
I love that. And we have continued to support you, and we know that you have so much further to go, and we can't wait to see where that leads you. Speaking of gratitude, we can't continue this conversation without talking about the way you inject faith in your music. And of course, we're talking about Pray For Me, the one that really got everyone going and really paid attention to really your songwriting style. So before we even talk about Pray For Me, I want to talk about faith and how okay, so it's very delicate when we talk about faith, because everyone has different relationships with God, or if they practice any particular religion. So did you ever feel like you had to hide or mute or not talk about faith, because it seems like that was the gravitating pull to actually get you through in the early stages of your career?
Never. I'm not ashamed, ever. Stand firm. It's a foundation that I believe is the reason why I'm here today. A lot of this stuff I don't understand, so I just look to seek peace that surpasses understanding, and faith helps me to do that. My relationship with God, my relationship with Jesus helps me to do that. So I'm just really grateful that, you know, my parents did their job by installing that, or even just introducing me to that at an early age, because it's not until, you know, you gotta carry your own cross so you realize like how important that really is. And it's not that I'm trying to, like, you know, convert or anyone or anything like that, but for me personally, like I said, like if I know that like I don't get a lot of the stuff that's going on out here, I know for a fact a lot of my peers, or even the ones that are coming up under me or younger than me, are not going to understand stuff that's going on. So I'm just going to always just encourage you to like look for something that's bigger than you a little bit, you know?
I mean, that's the only thing we can do. I'm a very religious person, and my particular faith is Islam, so I'm Muslim. So for that is we don't, as you said, understand everything that's going on, but everything has a purpose. So if you pay attention, you learn what it is. But now that leads us to Pray For Me. So we're in this transition of hyped dance music, EDM. Everyone is kind of genre bending, and Pray For Me, when I first heard it, it struck me as first a very modern take on gospel music. I'm not sure if that's what you set out to do, but it reminded me a lot of like Molly music and Kurt Franklin's new wave, to really get people into having these conversations about faith and religion. But also, it sounded like it wasn't supposed to come out. It was something so personal. I feel like I was really sitting in a room with you when you were talking to yourself.
Yeah.
Did you think people would take to that song the way that they did?
No. If you're gonna be honest with you, I knew it was really special for me, but like I guess same thing that I said earlier, like I know for a fact that I be going through spaces where I don't get it. So if I be going through those spaces, I know there's a lot of people that don't get it. I also wrote that and with my father in perspective, who, like, you know, even just as the head of a household, or like a black man as a head of the household, like there's so many pressures that we don't really have a lot of safe spaces to really even express that. So I always wonder like how he feels when he's just putting so many stuff together, if he feels like anybody's even worried about like how he's doing, you know what I'm saying? It's just everybody has their own situation. It's just a process that you just gotta respect and honor. And in that moment, to be able to encapsulate that in that record was very special for me. The moment was very special for me. To see how people are receiving it is very special to me. It's just a blessing all around. So yeah.
And one of the things that really stuck out to me right now, especially because you're so fresh into your career, at least in the public perspective, right? You've been working at this for a minute. It's very hard for an artist to find their sound. And I think you're finding it very early on. And I think that has a lot to do with the relationships that you're building around the people you're working with. So can you talk to me about your relationship with your, now I feel like you're a duo, dynamic duo, you and Bongo. So could you talk about that and how you all get your creative process going?
Oh man, that's my brother, man. He saw so much light in me that I was just grateful to encounter someone like that. I didn't really have a lot of examples. Even like you were saying, just the background of where we come from, of he also being a Nigerian American as well, which was just like I didn't like know a lot. We don't have a lot of representation as far as like first generation American kids who are like coming of age in this day and age, of like a lot of like Nigerian Americans who are like showing us that it is possible to do that. And so I'm looking at him and I'm seeing like, okay, he's, you know, he already has accolades in on the back of his pocket, you know what I'm saying? And he's already moving, and he just showed me so many different routes. One, he believed in me, but two, he definitely affirmed me and empowered me. And also, man, if you just, the proof is in the pudding, like he could walk and chew gum at the same time. Like I just see, like, that's one thing I told him, like his work ethic is unmatched. Like, and it really just affirmed me in so many different ways. There's so many things that I took from him. And I know he does the same thing, vice versa. And we just bounce back and forth off of each other sonically. It just was seamless, literally. And it all stemmed from a relationship. We spent like weeks together before we even went in the studio together for the first time. Yeah, so like, and he really just put his arm over me. He was the first person to really put his arm around me in front of everybody. Like, nah, he's the one. Nah, he's the one, you know? And that meant so much to me. So it was easy to like work with somebody like that and grow with someone like that. And yeah, I'm gonna keep running it up with him.
And we see that, we hear that on your EP. So, you know, so when you were going into this, because you already had so many accolades that you had accumulated at this point. So we're talking about spotlights on several different R&B editorial platforms like ThisIsRnB and so many other playlist platforms. A rising act to know from Spotify, getting spotlighted at their showcase series, and then of course Apple Music artist to know. So going to this, there was a lot of pressure. I'm sure you probably didn't feel it because you're too cool for school, but going into this project, having Bongo support and knowing what you put out so far, what was the inspiration for this as your formal introduction?
I just wanted people to get to know me sonically. I wanted to put my print out there as far as like, just, yo, this is who I am. You know, I didn't really feel much pressure because it felt easy to just be me, you know, which was something that was very important for me. No gimmicks, you know, no bells and whistles. We don't even need all of that. For me personally, I just very much so wanted it to be organic and feel authentic and resonate with the people. And from what I know, from the reception of what I've been getting from people, is like, that's what it's been, which is affirming to me to just continuously, like, to continue to just lean in, like, to myself and trust my intuition, and to just give myself permission to be myself.
I had a chance to listen to the project before its release, and I absolutely love it for a lot of the reasons that you're saying right now. But one of the things that really struck me in listening to this project was the themes. There are a lot of themes that you touch on that I feel like, again, really highlights your intuition and following what it is in the conversations you're trying to curate with your fans. Mm-hmm. One of the ones that stuck out to me the most is family. We've already talked about faith, but we talk a lot about family on this project. So before, you said that you and your father share a lot of parallels, and he's once had a conversation with you to say, like, he sees himself in you a lot, in your grind and really pursuing music full time. Mm-hmm. This is such an interesting conversation to have, intergenerational, like different perspectives. So you say you felt like you had a lot to prove to your parents because of the sacrifice that they've made migrating over here from Nigeria. Do you think you've accomplished that so far?
Nah. Nope. And still gotta wait. I think I've accomplished it because I think I have, in my sense, sometimes, but like, you know, man, it just, the sacrifice that it took for them to get here, I don't think I'm gonna ever feel like I've accomplished it. And I know that's probably something that I might need to, like, you know, work through within myself. And, you know, I got a lot of work to do in me still, but I'm progress over perfection. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, no, I really do feel like they've sacrificed so much. There be times where I'll be like wanting to quit, or not even wanting to quit. There are times where things are hard, and then I think about the stuff that they even went through, and I'm just like, what do I have to? You know what I'm saying? Like, I get the luxury to do art. You know what I'm saying? Like my siblings, they went the traditional route, did the school. You know what I mean? Psychologists, medical field, and I'm over here doing arts and crafts. You know what I'm saying? And for a long time, it took them. I was just like trying to explain it to them, but there wasn't no explaining it to them. I just had to show it. And so now that it's happening, my parents are just like, well, okay, yeah, just keep going. You know, they affirm me, but it's just this pressure that I have on myself where I feel like I'm forever indebted. So, yeah.
Well, I know one thing that probably set the family WhatsApp on fire when you got invited on the tour as support for Tim's, because fellow Naija, right? I know the WhatsApp was popping. So what was your family's reaction, or even yours, when you found out the news that you'll be joining Tim's on tour?
My instant reaction was just praise. You know, you work so hard to get somewhere that you don't really know where that place is that you're trying to get to. So when it's something like that, it's just almost like you can't put that into words, man. I can't even explain it to people. I just had to like give thanks. So that was my first interaction, my first initial thought process when I got the news. My father always installed the concept of like quiet time and meditation to me. He used to always like take me to like bodies of water to stay there and like in nature, really, to just find God. And so the first thing, I was at a photo shoot when I got the news, and I freaked out for sure in the photo shoot. And then right after that, yeah, I flipped the whole green room upside down. I can't lie. But then right after that, I just had to find my way to a beach, and I just sat by water for probably an hour and a half, just thanking God. Got on the phone, my parents, was with my managers, and they were like, did you tell them? I was like, yeah, I don't even know how. And so they grabbed the phone for me and let them know. My mom just started at the same type of time, praise, you know, just started giving thanks. And ultimately it's just such a blessing. But yeah, most definitely the WhatsApp was jumping. It was jumping. They understood it fully. They understood the gravity of what it was. They understood how hard I've been working towards something. They saw the tears of joy, and they were just like, stop crying. This is what you've been working towards. So like the real work starts now.
I'm very interested to see how you approach this show, because you've had a lot of performances thus far, speaking of the Spotify showcases, but this is a special one for you. So what can attendees, concert goers expect from you on the stage?
Expect a great time. Expect good music. Expect to be a part of my world. Expect to be a part of my community. It's too late. Like, once you get in front of me, we just gonna vibe out, and how we vibe out. Next thing you know, we twins. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. So just yeah, just expect quality, musical, a great show. Just expect that.
I love that. So let's go back to the project, because the project, this will be a lot of fans and concert goers first time hearing you, and then with that body out. So the thing that struck me the most is the title. So you know, right? What do you want listeners, especially new listeners, to know about you?
My name is Lekan. I'm a singer, songwriter, musician from Columbus, Ohio, first generation American. You know me, child of Nigerian immigrants. It's how I like to make music. Sonically, that's what I want you to know. How you care about me will come through time, and also through your choice if you want to or not. But ultimately, so you know this is who I am. That's what it is.
That is very, take me as I am. This is what I'm giving to you. This is what you're going to receive. Now digest.
No Mary J. Blige.
So I have a fun game for you based on the album's title and a few of the themes. Now, one of the questions that some of your fans begged me to ask you was about your relationship status. So instead of asking that, I I feel like we should put it into a game. So the game is So You Know, and it is our way of creating a mock dating profile for you, because on some of your songs you're talking about having difficulty in the arena of love. So I'm gonna ask you this or that style question. So if this is your dating profile, you have to pick one or the other, so you let the lady lovers potentially know what is your preference in this area. So you down for a game?
Let's go.
The first question you have to answer is, do you prefer a night in or a night on the town?
A night in.
All right. So on the night in, do you have any ideas of what you want to do with your lady lover, or are you just gonna Netflix and chill?
Nah, I want to cook. We could play games inside. We could go song for song on the aux. You know what I'm saying? I do like playing games like card games, or like, shoot, we could even do like a little paint and shit, like, you know, like our own little curated vibe. I just like safe, secure environments where it's controlled, you know. And if we bored, you know, whatever.
So what's the dish? Because, you know, now everyone is going to be trying to Chef Boyardee it up in the kitchen for you. So what's the dish that ideally either you would make, or she would make, or you would make together?
I love a pasta. You know, I love Italian food. I used to work at an Italian restaurant, so that's one of my favorite types of food. But I've been trying to perfect my lamb chop recipe for so yeah. Yeah,
okay, listen, everybody pay attention. If you see him on MasterChef, then you got to hear first, right?
Man.
So the next one is, okay, we're preparing for vacation. Are you going to do something tropical or something nature, as far as like trees, wilderness, hiking?
Tropical.
Any preferred places?
Bali. Know what I'm saying?
Passports. Everyone, get your passports. Anyone interested need to get their passports right now.
Come on.
So, ideal first date, right? So now you have been talking for a while. You're ready to go out. Are you doing dinner at a restaurant, dinner and drinks? Or are you doing something like a museum trip or something around the arts?
Maybe something around the arts. I also like games, but then I'm gonna pose this question to you, right? If you go on a date and somebody take you to like bowling or like something to do, like, you know, with games, right? Like, and they just be like, and they just like keep winning. Like, are you mad, or are you just like?
Well, I'm a athlete. I'm a high school athlete, so I played softball, volleyball, soccer. So for me, I'm very competitive, which is why I don't do games most times. Because sometimes I could be a sore loser. So if you beat me too many times in Uno, my night is ruined, right? I'll be okay the next morning, but my night is ruined. So yeah, I would go. I would have a great time, but I'm more so focused on winning rather than the actual experience and encounter. So that's just my truth. Everyone forgive me, but that's my truth.
Likewise. Unfortunately, I've seen it go up, and I've also seen it go down. So, you know, maybe I just want to ask that from a woman's perspective, if that's something that they would actually like if like they go on a date with somebody and he just scraping them just consistently. You know what I'm saying? Like, how are you gonna? But for me, it's just like I do it, and then I'll be so soft with you after. Like,
that's how you gotta do it. You gotta beat them and then love them afterward. That I just feel like you can't. Don't take it easy on me, because I'm not there to play games. I'm bringing my own bowling shoes. I'm stretching before we get there. I got a playlist going. I'm serious about this. Like,
stretching is crazy, but all right.
So the next question is, so preferred method of communication. This is a big one. A lot of your fans have been asking me, okay, once we get into the door, how do we go up from there, right? So are you a FaceTime or a text message person?
FaceTime all day.
I'm surprised. Why?
FaceTime because I do a lot throughout my days. Sometimes I be getting the text back and like I be feeling bad or like I get guilt tripped, and it's just like you gotta understand I do a lot. So like whatever you trying to say in like tense text, you know what I'm saying? Like it could just be easily said on the call. And I want to see your face, baby. Like bless me. You feel me? Like, you know what I'm saying? I might do a little FaceTime widget with you. Feel me? We play around some emojis or whatever like that. Like that's cute. But like I have been getting better with my texting game. I will say that, sending gifts back and forth. So it's like fun, but I will always go with FaceTime. Always.
Okay, and the last question, this is the one that everyone try to make me slip in here. So I'm glad that you're open to this. So do you prefer to be the person to reach out or make the first move, or are you open to the lady making the first move?
If I want what I want, I'm gonna go get it. But if you take that initiative, I'll respect you a lot more.
Y'all asked and I asked and you got the answer, right? So just a fair warning, if your DMs start blowing up after this more than they already are, prepare yourself, right? Prepare yourself. Ladies, keep it PG-13, please. We don't want your accounts to be flagged.
For sure. You know, we love you. We love you, baby. Love you.
Essentially, what's next? I know that we have the visual out for your latest single, and of course the project is going to be dropping soon, and then tour. So with all of that going on, what should fans be expecting in the meantime, in between time?
Collaboration. I think that's really important. I'm not finna drop no names, so don't do it. But like, just know that I very much so am big on just aligning myself with like-minded individuals, artists that I admire, that I respect, or even artists that I feel like the world needs to admire and the world needs to respect. That I really see something in. I want to like lean into that. I'm just get used to seeing a lot of me. Get used to the name. Like I just plan on being around for my goal is to be a household name. So yeah, we working towards that.
You're gonna get there. I know. I feel it. I feel it in my bones that is gonna happen. I was gonna ask you about the dream collaboration because I don't know if maybe you can expand on this. The project, you were very adamant about having your singular voice and your singular experience. And I was curious was that intentional to not have any collaborations? Because I'm sure you've probably been offered collaborations in the past.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was intentional. Again, like I just wanted to introduce myself to the world with this first body of work in the space that I'm in right now. But yeah, are you asking me like my dream collab?
Yeah, we would love to know just to see sonically where you're going with it, because we can never predict what you're going to put out next.
Oh, for sure.
You did Chopped and Screwed, you did gospel, you did contemporary R&B, you did alternative art. So like, we're just trying to figure out a little bit of where you're envisioning yourself sonically in the next couple of projects.
For sure. I don't know if she's going to hear me, but Beyonce, I just want to be on a first name basis. You know, I am of service. Please understand that and know that, please. However you need me, whatever, country, renaissance, however you coming, holla at the kid, I'm around. Beyonce, man, I would love to work with James Blake. Such a fan of his work. I would love to work with Billie Eilish. I would love to work with her. I would love to work with Brent. I would love to work with Doja. Pharrell is definitely someone on my bucket list, or someone that I've always wanted to work with. Timberland. Stevie Wonder. Man, if I could get a Jay-Z feature, I'm like, y'all gonna have to talk to me a little differently. You know that my hat gonna be like this.
the big one to the side, you gonna have a polo button down, halfway button. The Rock Nation sneakers and Rockaware pants.
Come on, I want to go to the brunch, all of that.
Well, I mean, this is the thing. If you're throwing Beyonce out there, you know, Act 3 supposedly is around the corner, and that's rock. So that could very well be a possibility. You never know.
Again, I am of service. I'm not that hard to reach. You know, you can find me. I promise. I'm around.
But
Yeah.
yes, thank you for taking the time out to chat with me. I really do appreciate it. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep the art pure. And I'm definitely gonna be paying attention because I feel like out of the features you said, we're hoping for the Beyonce one for Act 3. But a lot of people have been doing whispers about Brent online. So I feel like that may be the first one. So I'm gonna be nosy. I'm gonna be looking at your stories because you be sharing studio sessions. So if I see a curly fro in the back, I know who it is.
You see something's my business.
I'll keep
Thank
it
you so much for having
secret.
me. Thank you so much for having me. Grateful for your time, grateful for your words. This was dope. I really appreciate it. Thank you.